Alright guys, what's going on? So today I have a really cool video for you guys. I'm kind of bringing back something I did a really long time ago, which was putting the headliner in my truck. That was a super popular thing I did before my channel really got popular, to put it in simple terms. But everyone was really interested on how I did the headliner in my truck. That was the top comment I got before I started doing stuff like the 5-speed swap and all sorts of other cool things I've done to my truck. But that was a really big thing that kind of people are always asking me about with my truck, and it was typically what set my truck apart from others, at least. As you guys know, I redid the interior recently and there's no headliner, and I took everything like that out, and I still need to put the glove box back in and the headliner back in. But before I put the headliner back in, I was looking at it and I decided I wanted to change it up, do a little bit different, maybe refresh it, just get a new one. There's nothing quite wrong with it, but I mean, it's still usable and it still looks great. But I just think if it's out, I should change it and make it better and put a new one back in. So that's kind of what I'm going for right now. So really, what I'm going to show you guys is the whole pretty much in-depth process. Keep in mind, I've made a video on how I did my last one, so I'll put a card up and you guys can check that video out too. But this one's going to be a little bit different. It'll probably be a hair cheaper than the one that I did in the past, but the actual wrap that's going over it will probably be a little more expensive, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys what I got going on now and kind of explain what the plan is and why I'm doing it. So as you guys can see, I have the old headliner sitting here, and you're probably looking at this like, what's wrong with it? It looks fine, but it still is in really good condition. It's just got a couple marks. I mean, I could probably clean that up. Yes, that stuff would come off, but it's starting to crack pretty bad, and you can see right here, it's just starting to split. And it's got a bunch of little tiny cracks. It's hard to see on camera, but I mean, there's some just straight up splits all over it. And the big thing is when I installed this, I had to install this by myself, and putting a headliner by yourself is like almost impossible. So I tried flexing it and getting that bend on the roof line, and I actually ended up breaking it here. So it's split. I'll show you guys when I flip it over, but it's pretty much not quite split in half, but the composite of the cardboard sheet broke, and it broke all the way down the side of this thing. So there's just a couple things I didn't like, you know? And the other thing was, as you can see, each star and stripe was laid individually. So you have marks like that down the whole thing. I've got these marks I don't like. You know, just a couple things that I personally don't like. I was expecting a one-sheet printed wrap. That's not what I got. So I want to go to like an auto place that wraps cars and get a print. I want a printed wrap of what I want. Plus, typically car wraps are more elastic and it won't do stuff like this. So I don't have to deal with cracking in the future. I want it to last a little bit longer. And these colors are pretty bright. And the truck's kind of old, so I might want to do like an aged, like old rustic flag. I don't know, maybe not rustic, but you know what I mean, like an older style flag, not a brand looking new one. I don't know. I'm just kind of toying with the idea, but this is always kind of a touchy video. Some people are like all about it, which I like it. You know, it's cool. And then there are people that absolutely hate the thought of this and just what I'm doing. So I don't know, just the thought of like people portraying a flag in a certain way is disrespectful, and I understand. But in terms of a headliner, I'm trying to be the most respectful I can in the way that I'm presenting it. What I mean by that is I'm not using a flag, not cutting a flag or gluing a flag. I didn't want to use an actual fabric cloth flag. I would never cut or glue anything like that. I feel like that to me is disrespectful. But the only way I could think to do that kind of headliner, because I really like how it looks really cool, is to actually make a print and then use a print of a flag and then do that. I don't know, it's weird. It's just kind of hard to explain. I don't want to, you know, I just want to do what I like, what I think looks good, but I want to do it in the most respectful way possible, I guess you could say. You know, I love my country and I want to just show how cool the headliner is. It's a really cool conversation piece when it's at a car show. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to cut or glue an actual flag. I don't want to be disrespectful like that. Also be kind of cheap and costly effective and still look good at the end of the day. So that's why I went with the decals. You can see it's one decal. It's not, and as you can see, there's no cuts or glue on anything. It's just, it's a big sticker. It's literally what it is. So yeah, that's pretty much why I did what I did and where I'm kind of going now. And I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. So what I got going on now is I went ahead, and this is, I'll show you the dimensions after I draw the line, but this is a clear piece of Lexan. I want to say I don't remember how thick it is, but you guys will see it when I actually get the dimensions out. But it's a big clear sheet of Lexan. I went ahead and taped the back up against it. As you can see, there's tape all around it. And I taped around the edge. I'm pretty much going to trace out the exact cardboard cutout I have already. Now this cardboard cutout is the Dennis Carpenter replacement for a headliner. This thing's like $100, almost $200 or something like that. So that's why I'm doing the Lexan now, because it's also cheaper. So the Lexan did cost me about $80, so it was from Lowe's. I'll go ahead and I'll put the dimensions up once I draw this. And then everything that I do, I'll leave links where I can in the description, so you guys can check that out too. But I'm gonna go ahead and trace out the edge so I can cut the Lexan to fit properly. And I went ahead and I mocked up the trim, because you can see it gives me about 1 inch. But what I'll do is I'll probably do about a 1/2 inch on the outside all the way around, so I have a little more material to work with. And then I'm just gonna play it safe, because this is an $80 sheet. I don't want to ruin it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way around and take it off, and then show you guys what I got. Okay, so you can see I got everything kind of traced out. It's pretty much going around the side. Then it's a 36 by 72 inch. That covers everything perfectly. You can see it's up against the edge on here. And I got about 5 inches to spare right here. So this should work if you got a bump side, a dent side, 60s, 50s, shouldn't matter. This sheet should technically cover it. But like I said, go off of these measurements and see if it still will work. You're gonna want at least 1 inch past where it would mount, just to be safe, because that's where the trim would sit. So you just want to make sure everything will fit. Now that this is like that, I can go ahead and cut it, and we'll probably take a jigsaw, put it on a table, and then just kind of follow this edge and go all the way around. Then I'll be able to take this, put it in the truck, make sure it fits, and then I'll be able to get it wrapped. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing cut. Alright, so you guys can see I went ahead and took the Dremel tool after I went ahead and cut it with the jigsaw. Just kind of shaped my edges. There's some like relief cuts that are around it. As you can see, it kind of goes in, and that's where the screw holes go, I'm pretty sure. So there's a couple relief cuts I made, but it came out pretty good. So now I'm going to test fit it, see if it does fit, and then the last thing I'll do is drill the center hole to hold it up from the center, and then we'll be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean it off and see if it even fits in the truck. That'd be nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. All right, so Craig made a big mistake, and as you can see, I have a new roll of material here. So what I had before was like, I don't even know if it was acrylic. I don't know what it was, but it was not flexible enough. Basically, when I was making the heat bends and I pulled it down, I had it right, but I went a little bit too far, and I broke the edge of it off. So that was trash, that sheet was trash, so I don't recommend getting the sheet that I showed you. But I'm gonna leave all those clips in because the installation and cutting and trimming part is all the same. So what I got here, as you can see, it says it's a polycarbonate sheet. So this is 16th inch, this is clear, as you can see, and it's super easy and flexible. And the nice thing about this is you could literally fold it in half and run over it with a truck and it will not break. So this is a 4x8 sheet. I think this one sheet was somewhere around 60 bucks for a 4x8, so it's really large. So I could literally make 2 headliners with this thing. So I got it wrapped up, and you can see it's very flexible because it's literally rolled up into a big spool. So my mistake on my end, so please don't go buy that one sheet. I've probably put a note saying don't get that sheet. So this is what you would want, is some sort of polycarbonate, because this is what is flexible. It will not physically break. You can't break this. So this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to roll it out, do the exact same thing, put the old headliner on it, cut out a stencil, and I'll come back when it's pretty much where I was with the other one. So I'm going to get that done real quick and then come back when I got this all cut out. Okay, so I got everything cut out. It's pretty much the exact same as it was in the last try, I guess you'd call. So I got it kind of pretty much mocked up. You can kind of see I got a little piece of trim and then that little tiny screw there. And it's generally in-ish. You can see it's just a clear sheet. But this is, you guys can't really read it, but it's a polycarbonate. It's not Acrylic. Acrylic is what I think I had, and that's snapped. It's got to be a polycarbonate. So this stuff, literally, you can fold it in half, run over it with a truck, it will not break. So if you're going to do this, it has to be a polycarbonate. I mean, granted, you can make it out whatever you want, but this won't break. This is super easy to flex, as you can see. It bends and makes all the curvature, no problems. I have not had any issues with it so far, and it seems like it's doing pretty good. So that's just what I'm staying with. So we're trying to get final fit and finish right now. I wanted to test fit it before I actually went out and got it kind of, you know, wrapped and stuff. You can see right here, it all fits pretty well. Going around, it fits pretty decent. I got to trim a little bit right there where you can see, and then same thing right here, just to make sure. But I went ahead and I put the center screw. I wanted to make sure I had the center screw put in before I got it upholstered, because this is pretty transparent, so I can see where it's supposed to go. So I put that in. But you can see everything looks like it's going pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim those two pieces. We're gonna pretty much put the rest of the thing together, and it looks like everything will fit pretty well. So that means once I take it out, I'll just trim those, and then it'll be ready to get redone. But looks pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I also gotta fix this junk. But yeah, so pretty happy with that. So we're gonna go and take it out. I'll get that stuff trimmed up, and then we'll go get it re-wrapped, or whatever you want to call it. No, I'm going the right way. Oh boy. And it's done. That's how it came out. I think it came out really good. It still needs to be fitted. It's a little bit better. As you can see, it's kind of wavy right here. Doesn't really fit crazy well right there. As you can see, it's just the way the light reflects. It's a lot more intense on camera. It's not this way in person. But you can see it's a little bit ripply. It's not terrible, but that's just how the camera makes it look. The only real ripple spot is right there, so you can see it. But yeah, this is kind of how this thing came out. I'm really, really pumped with it. Matches the truck aesthetics pretty well, I would say. But if you guys have been following my recent videos, the last like 4 I believe it was, I was really, really intensely preparing for Good Guys with this truck. I was doing a lot of interior work. I lowered the truck in like 2 or 3 days. As you can see, it's significantly lower. If you haven't been caught up with my videos, you can just kind of get a general look right there, just how much lower the truck is than what it was when I started. And the headliner was a big part of that. So dating all the way back to when Ben came over and we made a couple videos with him, even before that I was working on the headliner for this because I knew I wanted it done for Good Guys, as well as a lot of interior stuff. As you can see, the interior is a little bit nicer, and getting the drop done. And this is just a big full circle of events, I guess you could say. So I've been working really, really hard to get all this stuff done. I got the headliner printed. That's kind of why I skipped a little bit. I felt bad I didn't get to go film the part of me dropping it off and picking it up and kind of showing you guys the whole wrap situation, but it came out really, really good. It's a print this time, and my friend CJ over at Ghost Wraps wrapped this. I think he's in San Marcos, California. If you're in San Diego, that's kind of a good place I'd recommend going. Super cost effective. The wrap came out to be about $200, $250. That's how much the print was. So the print's the expensive part. It depends on what, you know, if you want colors, you know, there's so many variables there that deter the price. But mine was about $250 just for the print. But it's so worth it. I mean, look at it. It looks awesome. It's a print. I was able to find an image on my phone of what I wanted the graphic to look like. I'm on a wallpaper, sent it to him. He sent it to his printer, had it printed and put on in a day. It was like super, super perfect. Worked out better than I would have ever expected. So big thank you to CJ for that. I'll go ahead and I'll put his information up, or information down in the description. You guys can check him out if you're in San Diego and want a vehicle wrap. He did vehicle wraps like I was saying earlier in the video. And this is the same kind of material. So it will take heat cycles when the truck sits outside and gets super hot and it gets super cold. It will stretch, you know, it won't crack like the previous headliner did. Those were just a couple of things that was super serious to me. I wanted to make sure they were perfect and the thing would actually last this time around. But you guys can see this thing came out awesome. So a couple of the points I was making in the video is my previous sheet was a very thick piece of acrylic. Acrylic is extremely fragile. When I went into this, I did not know enough about materials. Now I do. Don't buy acrylic. Acrylic is fragile. It'll break. So when I was trying to get these bends done, I was using a heat gun and I was trying to pre-bend it so it would bend a little easier. And of course I snapped it. So I went back and got a polycarbonate sheet, Lexan sheet. This is literally, like I've said multiple times, you can fold it over and will not break. It can't break. So this is a lot better material to go with. I went to a place called RIDOUT Plastics in, I believe, Claremont, California. They had, or just any composites place has this kind of stuff. I don't think you can get Lexan at like Lowe's or something, but yeah, it's a 4x8 polycarbonate sheet. That's what I ended up getting. It's clear. That's what made it really easy for me to find out where this hole was. Because when I mocked it up, you could see it was clear right in that section, so I could see where the cross beam was in the roof to put this in, and it made it really easy there. But yeah, I'm super pumped with the way this thing came out. It looks really good. Yeah, it's gonna be nice when you're kind of walking around the truck and I can just kind of point out and just be like, hey, look up. And then you see that freaking awesomeness. It just looks so sick. I'm so pumped with this. It looks so much better than the other one did. It's like actually more legit this time around. All right guys, so I'm gonna end off the video in the truck. It's kind of a weird angle, but I just kind of wanted to show off the headliner above me. This thing looks super cool. You can see what I meant by the rustic look. It kind of matches it. I kind of wanted to symbolize a battle-worn flag. That still stands in like my truck that's obviously been through hell and back and it's still going, just to kind of show that nothing's really too far gone, really is kind of what it was. So yeah, it came out super good. I'm super happy with this and the way everything came out and everything looks. Big thank you to CJ that got the wrap done for me in a day at Ghost Wraps. Really appreciate it. Cool dude. So I hope you guys did go on and enjoy this video. I get a lot of questions about this all the time, so this is the video coming back. I made the headliner that was previous in this truck back in high school, which was a really bad video. I still like watching the video anyways. I'll put the card up. You guys can go watch that and enjoy it. But here's the nice new and improved version on how to do this. Pretty cost effective, but I mean, you're gonna get your money's worth out of it for sure. You can do this with any sort of print. It doesn't have to be an American flag. You can put whatever you want. You can put a picture of you and your truck up on your roof for all it matters. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you did enjoy. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video with this truck. We got a lot more stuff. As you can see, interior is not done yet. We still got a full sound system and center console to build. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So bye guys.